Hi guys, this is Hero. How's everyone doing today? Ajibale Kemcho, Aj Sub Keso. So today I'm going over the topic of music, okay? And I know music is something that we all cherish and love, at least most of us here on earth, but we have to understand that music can and usually is used as a vice, right? And with all vices, it's important to become aware of what it is about the vice that we like or that we're so attached to it about so that we can participate in the vice in a grounded way and we can control our use rather than the vice having the ability or the possibility of controlling us, right? And I know music is something that a lot of people are getting more and more into these days, and the energy of music is also changing. So I decided, all right, it's time for a video on this topic. The thing about music is that it completely, just on a dime, in a matter of seconds, transforms the energy of your mind, right? And you can literally almost do it in a wide variety of situations that most other vices you can't do, right? And it does it so quickly. For example, let's just take TV, right? TV, it might take some time to, kind of get into the show or something, although things are changing. The TV's getting more addicting, but it takes a little bit of time possibly to get hooked on something, or it's a little bit more of a time commitment. You can't just bust out, TV anywhere, although it is easier these days, but you can't just literally do it on like a, 3 minute car ride or something like that, right? Even with stuff like drinking and smoking, there's certain environments where you literally can't do it, right? And you might not have it on you, whatever, right? Music, it is literally so accessible on your phone. It you don't need to be like you don't need to give it your undivided attention. You can literally be doing a whole wide variety of activities and still be listening to music. Um, you don't need a lot of time, and you don't really need a lot of investment to get hooked on it either, right? So it is very, very powerful in that sense, right? And we all have certain insecurities, and our ego has all these grand illusions and things like that. The music we listen to usually helps feed into these illusions. Similarly, similarly to how people we hang out with usually feed into the illusions of who we're trying to be or who we want to be. For example, let's just say you are a very unconfident, maybe you're also not a very good looking person, right? You'll notice if you hang around other good looking people that appear to be confident to you, for those few moments when you're hanging out with them, let's just say there's somebody really, attractive at your work or your school or something, or, some party, your ego kind of goes up, right? You feel that false sense of confidence, right? You feel that false sense of value, you can almost say it, right? So, but then as soon as that person leaves or that interaction ends, you're right back to the same place, right? Possibly even worse because you compared yourself to this person and you put yourself on this false unstable platform. Same thing with the music situation here, right? You are listening to music that is putting you on this false platform. So, for example, you could be listening to music about a lot of the music is a little bit more sexual these days. So, you could be listening to music about all sorts of things related to how your sexual fantasies could be like really unrealistic or once in a lifetime type sexual fantasies could be fulfilled. You're listening to music about how possibly inflated your value could be, like everybody just walks around thinking you're the shit, and it could possibly raise certain negative emotions like anger and things like that, because usually there's messages in the music of like you know if somebody wrongs you, they're gonna have to pay for it or things like that, right? There's all kinds of stuff that our ego likes to attach to in the music, right? That basically gives our ego false sense of value, right? But we need to understand that a couple of things. One, the actual messages in the music get stored in your subconscious. So over time, your ego actually starts to believe these things. Your ego starts to believe or hook on to these messages, and they could not even be remotely true at all, right? Like, if there's messages about how, let's just say everybody of the opposite sex thinks you're super attractive and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that nobody thinks you're attractive, but these kinds of messages and things like that over and over and over again on like a daily basis possibly is not going to be good for your, the entitlement that you'll feel afterwards, okay? Another thing, besides the long-term point of it getting stored in your subconscious, the short term of it just inflating your ego and kind of giving it false value and things like that, you need to understand that we're trying to do the opposite, right? And we know spiritual elevation and things like that. Spiritual elevation, it requires detaching from all the nonsense besides your true consciousness, right? Now, music, it's all about attaching to all that stuff, right? And you're not even attaching to anything real. That's also the other dangerous part. You're attaching to an abstract concept of what the music is presenting, like, some super good looking person, or some super, feared person, or some super, authoritative person, or some super valuable person, right? A materially valuable person, right? And then that's not probably even close to who you are, right? Even the people making the music are not, at that level all the time, right? So that's just something you need to understand about music, that it is not in the long run going to serve you any point. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect, right? I listen to my own share of music. I live in South Florida, like close to, Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. So there's definitely plenty of different kinds of music here that I enjoy thoroughly, you could say. But I do know I try to be as aware of it as possible, right? The messages I'm consuming, the, the impact it has on my ego and all that kind of stuff, right? And you do understand that anything you consume, you're going to have to you're going to have to cleanse it afterwards if you have any, aspirations of spiritual elevation and things like that, right? There's no way you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Basically what that means is you can't have the results without putting in the work, okay? You're going to consume the messages of the music. You're going to, resonate with the vibration of the music. So if you're not, doing or listening to that great of music, your vibrations become hampered afterwards, right? Similar to how certain types of people, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? You can't hang around negative people all the time and things like that, and then you're just a super positive person afterwards, right? You'll notice over time that that's not true. Your vibrations also gonna get impacted too. Okay, so I hope this kind of shed some light on music. This was not to be in any sort of judgmental way. Almost everybody listens to some kind of music, but even stuff that is considered not the best vibrationally, but it's just a part of life. But there's a lot of things like that are a part of life, right? But it's just important to just be aware of it so that you can make the best grounded decisions for yourself possible, okay? That's it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, you can feel free to let me know in the comment section or email. Till next time, I'll talk to everyone later. Thank you all very, very much for watching.